Been in there. Okay, let's see. Right now, it's got me going on here. Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching. We got it. Watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. DMV, what's happening, my man?
Nothing, man. Oh, I mean, I guess we got things going like we need to, right?
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing. It was the first day of training camp, so or it's the first day, so yeah, it's something to be happy about, right?
It is definitely something to be happy about because we talking about practice now. Not the games, not the games that we love and all that. We talking about practice at least. Sorry everybody, I had some technical difficulties here. The funny thing is I'm going through. The person who was the most anxious on here was actually that Washington troll. Dak ain't good, and I've got something for him when he comes back. What's up, Blue Silver Star? Are you live on your channel too, DMV?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be live, but I don't see your stream for some odd reason. So I don't know if it didn't. I'm gonna refresh my screen
Okay, I
and
hope
see if it pops up.
One simple but brilliant trick
Yeah,
to
I think
cool your
okay.
home
I
in
think
somebody
60
it's, I
in
think
seconds.
it's
Dallas. What's up, JoJo? How are you doing? Sorry, my apologies. I had some technical difficulties here. My webcam that's in the system wasn't working, so I'm gonna figure out what the problem is with that one, or actually get another webcam to
for
go with
some
it.
odd reason. So I don't know if it didn't. I'm gonna refresh my screen.
Hold on.
Okay, and see if
Hold
it
it.
pops
Now I'm
up.
getting you coming back through. Okay, we're still. Look, it's preseason. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we still
This is
trying to
why
figure
you
out things.
practice. This is why you lift all them weights. This is why you do all that shit. So you get this together. He's right. Dak can only beat trash teams. Well, that's better than quarterbacks that can't even beat trash teams, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
Oh, he can only beat trash teams. Well, Daniel Jones can't even do that. How about that one? Oscar
hell, Kirk.
Brown. Who asked you anyway, Oscar Brown? Shut the F up. All right. So, is it working on your end now? He's got it. He's right. Dak can
Yeah, it's
only
working a
beat
little
trash
bit,
teams.
but let me see if I can somehow mute.
We got to definitely get this down pat before Monday. You know
Yeah,
that.
we definitely do.
Okay. What's up, Miss Hot Sauce? Dak is not good. Is that the only? Are you a one trick pony? I tell you what. I tell you what, dumbass. I was gonna save this for later, but here's the thing. If I were a Washington Commanders fan, the last thing I would be doing is talking about a quarterback. Wouldn't you agree with that, DMV?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I,
Because here's how stupid you guys are. I didn't do actually the financial numbers, and I probably should have. But think about this for a second, you Washington Commander fan. Okay, what I want you to think about is you guys had the opportunity to hold on to Kirk Cousins. Y'all trash Kirk Cousins, right? Oh, Kirk Cousins, we don't want to pay him. He's a bum, right? Let me give you a list of all of the suckers that have played for you guys since then. Colt McCoy, Case Keenum, Alex Smith, um, Dwayne Haskins, Kyle Allen, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Garrett Gilbert, Josh Johnson, and even butt fumble Mark Sanchez. You want to
damn. I
know?
mean, well, it's actually funny because two of those guys played with us.
Let's
You had
hear it.
Garrett
But
Gilbert
hold
and
on,
Mark
hold on.
Sanchez. Yeah.
So here's my thing. I want you to think about this for a second. If they had held on to Kirk Cousins and Kirk Cousins had numbers like he did in Minnesota, you think Washington would have been a decent team?
Yeah. And you know what? They would be in the hunt at least. I'm not gonna say that they'd be a decent team, but they'd be in the hunt.
Let me compare the numbers of what Kirk Cousins has done versus all of the quarterbacks that Washington's had since then, right? Kirk Cousins, 16,387 yards. The Washington Gang of Nine,
Hmm.
14,034 yards. 2,380 yards more for Kirk Cousins. Touchdown
Sheesh.
passes. Kirk Cousins, 124. All nine of those quarterbacks for Washington, 71.
Wow. That's crazy.
124 to 71.
That's crazy.
Interceptions, Kirk Cousins, 36. All of those other guys, 59.
Wow.
Quarterback rating, a 103.7 for Kirk Cousins.
Sheesh.
Okay. All of the Washington quarterbacks, 81.95. Think about that for a second. What if Washington had actually held on to Kirk Cousins?
I mean, in all actuality, they just got a little bit cheap, and I think that they felt like they could find another one. But I
Oh, what?
mean, we
Uh,
see how hard it is in the league to really find a quarterback when you actually have one. I'm not going to necessarily say that Kirk Cousins is. I think he's a franchise quarterback. I mean, there's
I'm just
different
saying
tiers to it.
they would have had 12 more touchdowns each season and five less interceptions. You don't think that would have made a difference in a couple of games? That
Uh,
would have. I mean, only would you know. Oh my God. So okay, so we know that Dak is not good as on crack because he says Washington's going to win 17 games. He must be about 5 years old. I'm going to leave him alone
damn,
because he's a little kid.
damn. Look, I thought they stopped the crack epidemic in DC a long time
I
ago.
really did. But look, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ava, how you doing, Ava? Ava, you got to send me a picture. You know, you've got so much of Jobu Sports at
Ava.
your house. I got to see because you ordered all of those Joe Bardis. You've got all those plaques that you won. You got to show me the she shed. Thomas Garrett, what's up, Thomas? And Joanne, how are you doing, Joanne? And Miss Hot Sauce Lola. All right, let's get to some of the news today. I haven't gotten all of it, but a couple of things. I guess we can start over from yesterday since we're talking about hot sauce. Cole Beasley, who's unemployed currently right now, kind of hinted that, or basically said, you know, when somebody said, "Would you go back to Dallas?" He said, "For Dak, I would."
Yeah, yeah.
Are you done
I
with
thought that
Cole
was
Beasley?
interesting. You said what?
Or are you done with Cole Beasley?
No, I'm not. At the time, I thought we could upgrade, but right now, I feel like we could use a Cole Beasley. The reason I say that is um, because with what happened to our roster with Amari Cooper, departing, now we don't want CeeDee Lamb returning punts. A guy like Cole Beasley, we can at least throw back there. He's a guy that at least can probably come in, pick up our system pretty quick, and we know him and Dak have a good rapport. The fact that he even said for Dak I'd come back, that speaks volumes. So yeah, I definitely take. I'm not done with him.
Well,
If he wants to be here and it works.
Well, apparently that's come back for Dak. I don't know about the rest of the team part of it, but he'd come back for Dak. So,
Well, I mean that's leadership though. I mean, you come back and you play for a purpose, which is I play with him, which is the leader. Dak is the leader of the team. Now, why we say Micah Parsons is becoming the face of the Cowboys, Dak Prescott is no question the leader of the team between him and Zach Martin.
amen on that one. Ava says she misses Cole Beasley. Yeah, you know Beasley. You know he was actually really, when you think about that Dallas Cowboys team in 2016. You know people will say, well, Dak was just a bus driver, but in all actuality, what you want, you could look at it and say Troy Aikman was kind of a bus driver too because it was such a balanced
Kind of.
offense. You know what I'm saying? Because you were hitting Jay Novacek, you were hitting Michael Irvin, you were hitting Alvin Harper, and then you had this great running attack. It was all balanced. Troy Aikman had one season of over 20 touchdown passes. Now I know it's different back then versus now, but that was the definition of being balanced. And people don't seem to understand that you don't have a team that runs the ball constantly. The NFL rushing team winner doesn't win Super Bowl,
Yep.
and the team that's usually the passing champion that passes all the time usually doesn't win it. It's usually balanced.
Yep.
In
It's the truth.
2016, the Cowboys were about as balanced as it could be. The first half of the season, the Dallas Cowboys offense was truly balanced. We were actually leading the league in rushing the first half of the season. People don't realize that with as everybody says, Zeke Elliott, he's done. I don't think he's actually that done. In fact, he looks a little bit lighter this year. He looks a little, svelte. What do you think about that?
I actually feel like it's just going to be the year for the running backs to come out of the grave. So I think that the three guys that have been kind of banged up, that we looked at that got big contracts are going to have big years. I think um, Saquon Barkley's going to have a big year. I think that
He can't stay healthy, man.
C-Mac, I think C-Mac is going to have a big year, and I think that Zeke is going to have a really solid year simply because I think Zeke's volume is going to go down. So I
Hmm.
think we'll get a fresher Zeke this year.
See,
Maybe.
that's the thing that really bugs me is what you constantly see on the news. Zeke Elliott's rushing, is 53 yards or whatever per game. But see, they don't preface it that the Cowboys are not rushing him as often. There's a big difference between averaging 13.8 carries a game versus when he was a rookie and carrying it 22. If he was
Uh
carrying
huh.
the ball 22, even at the 4.2, you're still up there about 89, 90 yards a game. So they're kind
Mm-hmm.
of baffling you some with, but you're kind of bullshitting you a bit there.
Yeah, appreciate you, Joe Gonzalez, for the super sticker, the $5 super sticker. So, Mark, I have a question over here from Sugar Daddy Williams. Sugar Daddy is definitely a or one of our favorites. He said, Dak or Zeke, who should the offense run through with the current personnel available and why?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The question was, Dak or Zeke, who should the offense run through with the current personnel available and why?
Dak. It's got to be Dak. I mean, I'm sorry. Zeke is only one dimension of this offense. Now, granted, you need the running game, but everything's got to run through the quarterback because he's getting the ball. If you can get Zeke going, then that means your play action is going to go. It's kind of like you have to have all of these other pieces to work together in unison, but in the end, it's all got to go through Dak. You can't win and say, "Oh, we're just going to run the ball." Zeke out. Zeke is not going to be able to run the ball 25, 30 times a game to say everything's going through Zeke. Am I making any sense at all?
I'd preface it a little different, right? Because I agree with you. It has to be balanced. I don't think it will be just Zeke, but I do think that the running game is important. I think that it's probably more important than running it through. I mean, if you want to say we're running the offense through Dak and he's controlling the tempo and stuff like that, yeah. But with what we brought in with the 12 personnel, Jake Ferguson,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to be able to run the ball when we want to be able to run the football.
Right.
Uh,
Shout out to
I-
Joanne
we
Gonzalez.
have to be able to do that. So I'm not going to just say it has to be Zeke. We got to be able to run that football whenever, like, because that's what travels wherever you go. We've seen where we've run the offense and we've thrown it 50 times, 40, 50 times, and we haven't mixed up things very well. So, I mean, I'll preface it with saying that, we definitely need the pass game. We need Dak to be able to be as strong, but we definitely have to be able to, hang our hats on our run game. And I think that Zach Martin has said that. I think that Mike McCarthy has kind of mentioned that. Sorry, you got the kid in the background.
Oh, no problem.
But
Hey.
yeah, the kiddos just walked in, man.
Okay. But see, here's
Oh,
by balance, and this is what you love to see. When we played the Chargers, okay, looking at the Dak Prescott 23 of 27, 220 yards, right? No TDs but one interception. Running the football, we had 198 yards running the football, 6.4 average.
okay,
All right, so you got 420 some yards on there, and you're eating up 6.4 yards a carry. That's freaking insane. Now against
that's
the
crazy.
right, and you had 85% completion percentage. You win games
Yeah,
that
that's
way.
crazy.
Okay, that's
Hmm.
controlling the clock, and you were averaging 8.8 yards per pass. Now you would have liked to,
Sheesh.
yeah, that was against the Chargers. So when people talk about Zeke's washed up, okay, against the Eagles we had 220 yards passing, three TDs, 160 yards rushing. Even though we only rushed for 3.9 yards per rush, your quarterback had 140 rating. Okay, again
Uh huh.
balanced. Okay, you still had close to 400 yards of offense. The next week against the Carolina Panthers, Dak, 4 TDs, 188 yards, and you ran the ball 245 yards.
Gotcha.
Okay, so again,
Yeah.
you got 440 yards of offense. Against the Giants, Dak, 3 TDs, 314 yards. Running the ball, we had 201 yards. And at
Mm-hmm.
that time, we played Carolina. I believe they were 3-0. That's when Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey was
Carolina was
still
definitely a
healthy.
good team at the
Okay.
time.
And the Eagles, of course, were a playoff team. The Chargers, of course, should have been a playoff team, but those weren't exactly, the dreads of the NFL. I mean, the Giants,
True.
yeah. But then, look, against New England. Now, check this out. Against New England and Bill Belichick in New England, 445 yards passing by Dak, 3 TDs, 1 interception, and we still rushed the ball for 142 yards.
But see, 142 yards. That's really good running the
Especially when
football.
you're passing 445.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
you're looking at that, but see, here's where it started going downhill. You didn't have that balance after that. Now, Minnesota, we had 341 yards passing and 78 running. The next week, when Dak came back, we had 212 against Denver, him passing, with the hurt calf, and 78 rushing the football. Then we play Atlanta, 317, 114. But we never really got back into great running games, until the Eagles at the end of the season. After that, we were never over 146 against New Orleans. So you look at this and say, you got to be able to run the football for us to really be successful. I mean, you need balance. You need a defense to cover the whole field. And if you can dude, if your whole thing, now, I'm going to say Dak ain't good. If you're just going to go ahead and just spam the same thing, the same comment, I mean, and I'm sure you'll go out and just make another one because I believe I know who you are because you have no life. But at least have a take and don't suck. Okay, we got it. You didn't said 50 times Dak ain't good, knowing that you don't have a fucking quarterback. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Woo!
Damn.
My God
Seriously.
is
Seriously.
killing it.
You would have
But
been better off
can
if you kept Kirk Cousins. We already proved that. How you doing, Paula
can
Bettis? All the ladies in the place, forgive me for cussing and losing my mind. I mean, I'm just kind of you Washington fans. Jeez. Speaking of Washington, Chase Young, his knee, they ended up taking from his left knee a graft from his patella tendon to make his new ACL. So he's really
mm,
rehabbing 2 knees.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? His
Yeah.
wasn't, a tore ACL. We're going to reattach it. We had to make a graft. We're going to take part, patella being, what's holding your kneecap in there. We're going to take a chunk out of there, and we're going to put that into your other knee.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So, now we understand why, he may start the season on the PUP list. It may be a while before he gets back out on the field. So as we're looking at and talking about Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup was not a graft. Michael Gallup, of course, was a clean tear. Paula Bettis says, "Happy birthday, Mike! Happy birthday, son."
Happy birthday.
That's right, man. I can't believe it. Man, I'm getting so old so fast. So Zeke looks good. Tony Pollard looks good, and we had Diggs today catching passes, not as interceptions, but as a wide receiver.
I mean, he's probably about the closest thing to I'm not gonna say Dion, but he's about as close to he's kind of like Terrence Newman. About the closest thing to Terrence Newman that we've had. Remember Terrence Newman lined up a receiver a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, I dare
For
say
his
that Diggs is better than Rhaegar. I bet you.
drum roll, please.
I bet you we compare the stats that Diggs probably had more yards than Rhaegar. Dem boy kicks says, "Happy birthday, Mike." No work until his knee heals. No, he won't be working for anytime soon. What's up,
Appreciate
Charles?
Mark.
Charge. What did you think about Kyler Murray's contract? About the clauses they put in there?
To be honest with you,
Here's what I tried to get my wife to do. I said, "Honey, I need you for a video." She said, "What? What do you need me to do?" I said, "I need you to stand at the steps and yell up there like you're yelling at the kids. Hey, Kyler, put down the damn PlayStation and get studying, boy. I'm gonna whip your ass.
I really don't understand how 4 hours, like, bro, like you're not doing 4 hours as a quarterback now. Like, your job is to play football.
Yeah.
Bro, what do you, like, literally, like, you're not in meetings all day. Like, just think about this. Your 9 to 5 is to go and play football. Literally. Like, what else do you have to do?
But
they had to, like, minimum put 4 hours for you to study?
Okay, so you had to put this stuff in your contract to make him the biggest contract in the history? Or no, sorry, second biggest. You had to put this in his contract? Didn't that kind of say, if you had to put this in the contract, wouldn't that say maybe we shouldn't be doing this contract? Because this is like Jamarcus Russell. I don't know if you remember, they said, well, here's the playbook. We need you to do some extra studying over the weekend. And they literally gave him a blank playbook. So on Monday, they said, well, what'd you think? He was like, oh, man, you guys drew up some good stuff. He didn't even open it up.
Crazy.
It's like, you're getting paid this kind of, you didn't even look at the playbook. Come on, dog.
Yeah, man, that's just, well, that just tells you what unbelievable talent he actually has, because he could go out there without watching film and just go out there and play at an MVP level. Because at one point, Kyler Murray was in the MVP discussion, and he beat. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, he beat our ass.
Yeah, there's that. But he's
undefeated
at
he's 2-0 against us.
Yeah.
2-0 in our stadium, not watching film. So there ain't much I can say really about Kyler Murray until we can beat him. Then I can say, you probably watched 3 hours this week.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the Cowboys say that Dalton Schultz is in the long-term planning for them.
Of course he is.
Talk is cheap, right? It was kind of like yesterday when they asked, after Jerry Jones went on about, Mike McCarthy, he's my guy. We had options. I didn't actually think of it the way I saw it this morning when I was watching Rich Eisen, because the way they kind of turned it was kind of like, you've got options and things. And of course, I wanted I wanted Dan Quinn here and stuff. And it was kind of like, yeah, actually, you were giving him the dreaded vote of confidence, weren't you? It was like, yeah, that's actually not good the way you did that. But
I don't understand why they keep addressing it. I mean, when the coach is on the hot seat or whether he's not on the hot seat, I feel like you don't address it and you just kind of let things play out. Now, whether you answer it, I mean, whether you answer and you say with confidence that he's going to be here, you still addressed it. And it was important enough for you to feel like you had to address people. Like, think about this, Mark. If people say like, "Oh, Mark is a terrible human being," are you going to address that?
Knowing me, because
probably,
I always want everybody to love me, and everything else and stuff. So I guess I probably would.
Or better yet, what if somebody said like, "You don't know your way around tools"? Like, are you going to like? Obviously, they don't know what they're talking about, so you're not going to address it, or you're just going to laugh at them.
No, I kind of treat them like that, like I did the Washington fan there. I go through and prove them wrong. Let them know how, because like I said, I didn't realize how, because Kirk Cousins gets a lot of shit. Everybody just talks about Kirk Cousins. Actually, you talk about 16,000 yards passing in 4 years, 124 TDs and only 36 interceptions. Dog, that's some fantastic numbers right there. Now, granted, he's had two great receivers in Jefferson and Diggs.
3.
Damn.
He said 3. Because you got Thielen too.
Oh, yeah, Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph when he was younger. But still, you still have to be able to get the ball to him, having great receivers and nobody to throw it to him. I mean, if that were the case, then Ben DiNucci would have been lighting things up because, anybody.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question because This is kind of going on Bart Scott's stupid ass
Oh my
rant,
God.
stupid ass rant of the day.
Yeah.
Where he said Dak Prescott needs everything to be perfect, or all of this type of stuff. Why doesn't he have the same type of energy for Kirk Cousins, who
Oh,
probably
you heard his
has
latest
more
one,
weapons?
right? Where he's
Huh?
with Jameis Winston. With Jameis Winston,
Yeah.
he's gotten a bad deck. It's like, wait a minute. Didn't his team win the Super Bowl the next year with Tom Brady? He was it hit. Was it somebody else's fault that he had the 30 interceptions?
But I still would rather have Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
Shut up.
that's the bull. It's
I,
like it's like, are you on
just
crack,
because you
man?
played, just because you played, don't mean that you bright, man. Obviously.
Well, but his
Damn.
whole okay. Let's be clear. His whole thing is trying to get some attention because nobody gives a rat's ass about what he says. What they go through is you're looking for the train crash, okay, the wreck, because he's going to say something so stupid. And literally, he said that and he came through. I ain't scared. Bring them on, man. Bring the comments on it, because yeah, he's just happy that somebody's interacting with this dumbass.
Or he wants ESPN to bring him back because they brought the ratings back. Or, you know what I'm saying? So he can
Yeah,
say something else stupid.
right.
I'd rather listen to Dexter Manley say he running from the laws than to hear
Well,
that stupid.
honestly, here's the thing that's kind of funny to me is, to me, it almost feels like when it comes to former Cowboy players, that it must be in their contract that you must diss the Cowboys. You cannot have something good to say, because when you see former Cowboy players, they're always there talking about how bad the Cowboys are. You know what I mean? And I almost feel like Darren Woodson was kind of like, you know what, I just can't do this anymore, and he just like walked away and said the hell with it. But it's like you honestly have to trash the Cowboys at every go round. And as far as Dan Orlovsky, you know what? It's crazy to me that you've got failed coaches, because I was listening to Todd Haley, I think it was today on NFL. I'm driving down the road. I was listening to Todd Haley, who was a failed coach for Kansas City. And you get guys like Dan Orlovsky or Carr, David Carr and stuff, guys that couldn't bust a grape that now know how to tell everybody else what they need to do, and they couldn't do shit their damn selves. So how am I supposed to listen to that jackass that didn't do a damn thing? You know?
I don't know how you do. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I have respect for the fact that they went through the process and they became professionals because I mean, obviously, I tried to do it and I couldn't do it. But I don't know if my own integrity could allow me to, in my second stage of my career,
Mm-hmm.
to try and just build a whole bunch of my own career on falsehood. I don't know if I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
to each his own.
Shout out to Alan Williams, who says happy birthday to Michael Anthony Fitness. And Eastside Herald, I finally found your stuff and was able to get you back into the fold. Okay, so Eastside, act like you got some sense. Okay, act like you have some sense, buddy. Okay, can you do that for me? Just act like you got just a little bit now. Okay, and by the way, your Texas team's gonna be asked, but I appreciate the super chat. Okay, they're gonna be asked. Mark Holmes playing receiver. Mark Holmes is okay. Yeah, I get the strangest people that come to my channel. You know that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you definitely do,
I
man. But
would I would
it's
take
all
James.
love,
Oh,
man.
hold on, wait. So we've got this Mark Holmes. I forgot what you want to call him, but Mark Holmes meme or whatever. Uh, and it says Mark Holmes playing receiver, and his comment, I would think Jameis Winston over that dot Dak. Did I get that right? Mark Holmes playing receiver. I would think Jameis Winston over that dot Dak. Have a take and don't suck.
I'm pretty sure that's Frank Joseph.
Oh no! Oh, don't
What's
say the
up,
name,
Frank?
because no, don't say the name, man, because you'll be a video. You'll be a video of this. And,
I already been in the
he's
video.
probably
It is what
he's
it is.
probably making it right now, man. But to have somebody so obsessed with me, it's crazy. You know, I mean, my wife, she loves me, and I go to bed with her every night. But damn, she don't show me that kind. attention that that mother humper does. But anyway, that Dak is not good. Repeating words 12 times. Definitely a troll. Like I said, but it's all good. It's all good because what they don't realize is they're helping the algorithm to make my channel bigger. That every time they do that stuff, it helps. It helps. Seriously. So keep it on, keep the trolling. All right. So Zeke Elliott looks lighter. Do we think that's
Again,
better, or do we think he should be heavier to take the pounding? Or does that mean that he's starving and needs to eat?
ooh, I like the last one because I mean, we all like to do the little eating motion, man. So yeah, I'm hoping it's the third one. But I like him lighter for the role that he's gonna do. Probably have a little bit less load. But I
Mm-hmm.
think he's better when he's able to maneuver in between the tackles and stuff and cut. I liked him in the beginning of last year, personally. Heavy
Yeah.
Zeke, heavy Zeke. He's just not as quick. He's still fast, but he's not as quick.
Right.
When he came in the league, I mean, if you got him on the open field run, he was outrunning you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he has that anymore, but I'd rather see more of that.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Now, 2020, he averaged actually 4 yards a carry. He averaged actually 4.2, the final total for this season, which is down from where I think it's 4.7 was his best, I want to say.
4.2 is still good.
4.2 is still, look, Alvin Kamara was only 3.7.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara was only 3.7. In fact, some of the, Antonio Gibson is only 4. Right? Oh, Antonio, it's like you understand that Zeke Elliott with a tore PCL was actually averaging more per carry than Antonio Gibson. But here's the thing that you have to think about. Remember when we had Darren McFadden? When
Yeah.
we signed him, it was after he had 3 years of 3.9 yards a carry. We didn't
Hmm.
look at him and say he was done. We brought him in because he was our lead back. He had 1 year with 1,000 yards, and I don't think he started till like week 4. The key is, and people just don't seem to understand it. If the line is blocking, if I can get 4 or 5 yards out of Zeke Elliott on a carry, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'd
A
love to
lot of
get the
times
home
people don't
runs.
understand. Zeke was making people miss, or he had to run through them before he was getting to the line of scrimmage. People don't give him credit for that. You
Yeah,
know.
he was actually saying that his knee was still bothering him, and he was worried that is this thing going to heal right? And he said just before OTA started, it finally like just clicked in, and he felt like he was 100% by the time OTAs came in. And he was also going on about he's surprised that they haven't had more postseason success. But Mike McCarthy is saying, having ability and not using it at the right time, of course, is the problem. We had the ability to beat San Francisco. We just couldn't put it all together. Or you look at things
Yeah.
that you can't make up for. Sorry, 14 penalties are hellacious to be able to make up for, in crunch time.
Definitely.
And if you can't run the football because, the offensive line's not there. And people don't see this whole thing of, when we're rushing, and I think Tony Pollard and Zeke together was only like 40 some yards. I think Dak Prescott ran the ball 24 yards. He was the second leading rusher in the game for us. That if you can't run the football at all, it makes it that much harder on the offense. And it used to be, and I wish I could find the statistic on it, but when Emmitt Smith didn't run 100 yards, Cowboys didn't win.
Yeah.
That was literally a stat. It was like, 95% of the time, if the Cowboys didn't get Emmitt Smith 100 yards, they weren't winning. And that was with Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin.
True. Yeah. I mean, hell. I mean, you know the story about Charles Haley throwing that helmet at Jerry Jones.
Oh hell yeah! I wish he'd throw it at him. I wish he'd throw it at Stephen Jones right now.
Yeah. But
Can
I
we
mean,
get
shoot, at
can we
one
get
point,
somebody?
man, look, Emmett was the engine that made us go, man. Both sides of the ball. He set the tone.
Oh,
So
my sound's low. Okay, hold up. Somebody said my sound is low. Let me see. Let me try and turn it up a little bit. Is that better there, buddy? My sound should be a little bit better there. Yeah, it's definitely kicking up. Or my battery might be getting low. Diggs said today, as far as, because getting 11 interceptions in a row, that'd be pretty tough. Although I will say that Richard Sherman had 8 interceptions 2 years in a row. But that's more the exception than the rule. But his goal is, he's like, to get more than I got last year. It's a great goal.
Yeah, it's a great goal. To be honest with you, 5 interceptions is a good year. 8 interceptions is a great year.
There were years we didn't get 11 as a team.
Yeah. 11
Shout
is
out to
astronomical.
Joanne Gonzalez. And I see Mary. How you doing? And Alicia. What's up, Alicia? A shout out to all the lovely ladies.
Lovely ladies.
I had to, oh, man. I don't want to get into the business of defending Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Catboy. Okay?
Catboy.
But, damn. KJ Wright. KJ Wright retired today, signed a 1-day deal to go back to Seattle and retire. KJ Wright last year was a free agent. Seattle let him go, right? And this is the parallel that I'm going to try and make, I guess, to try and defend Catboy. I said the Cowboys should kick the tires on KJ Wright. I said, you know what? Because at the time, we were looking at Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch, who was always injured, and so on. It's like, hey, we should talk about, hey, let's look at this guy, right?
Yeah.
So he goes to the Raiders, and 51 tackles, 1 forced fumble. $3.5 million. Now, that wasn't a lot of money, as per se, like, Bobby Wagner was going to get, but still, 51 tackles. And see, that was the name that because you said, oh, KJ Wright, Legion of Boom, one of the great Seattle defenses, right?
Yeah.
But didn't do anything. So when we look back next year and we look at Bobby Wagner, could it be that he ends up kind of dropping off the cliff right there?
Possibly, but you want to know something?
What's that? John Jones.
They knew something that we did not know as a fan base. They knew that Jabril Cox was a lot further along than we thought.
Mm-hmm. I thought for sure he was going to be on the pup list.
But the fact that he's here and he's practicing, now we're not talking about depth at linebacker as much anymore. Like knowing that Jabril Cox is going to be ready for week 1. Barring those setbacks, obviously it's not going to be a setback because they ain't put him on the pup list. But knowing that he's going to be here, like I no longer need Anthony Barr. I don't need it.
And also too, we do have that heavy nickel where you have Jaron Kearse, who's kind of like a tweener linebacker.
Yeah.
Where you have basically the 3 safeties. So, Alan Williams, I saw it, the $2. I thought I said, Alan Williams, shout out to you on that super chat. I appreciate that. A broken clock is right twice a day. Hey, man, look, the mailman up here delivering knowledge like Stephen A. Smith. Okay. Hope Cox shows something in camp. He's unproven. Yeah, but I tell you what, he had a couple little games in there. He showed some flashes. If he's completely healed, I'm okay with it. Aaron Wojciechowski. Hey, Mr. Holmes, let's go Cowboys. Shout out to you. I'm okay with okay. Like I said, I thought he was going to start out on the pup list. Now he is on a pitch count. They're only going to allow him to kind of work themselves in there. And it seems like the Cowboys have recognized that last year when they went balls to the wall, that Dak came out there and he's slinging the ball, as Jerry Jones said, 50 yards downfield, uncorking it, and that's when he strained his shoulder. You had Goldston, who ended up having soft tissue injuries and things like that. You had pulled hamstrings. And if you get a pulled hamstring, you and I both know those are those lingering issues that you just don't get through. And it seems like the NFL has become kinder and gentler than I used to remember growing up. Remember when we used to have to go through the 2-a-days and special team practice in between, and you're hitting the sled, you're hitting the you're bowling the cage and Tennessee drills. You were just hitting and hitting and hitting. But now it's kind of like, okay, Johnny,
Well, mental. It's a
we
mental
don't
game.
want you to get hurt, so we're gonna take it easy on you. Okay, we don't want you to hurt. We don't want you to strain anything, at least not till the games.
Yeah.
So today, little bit of action. Yesterday was kind of like light conditioning because they didn't even want to do the testing because they're like, if you go through and try and test the guys, after 5 weeks of being away from us, they might pull a hamstring trying to go all out. So I'm kind of like, okay, that's a theory, and I agree that we want to get everybody there. East Side Monster. Oh Lordy, is it East Side Harold? Is that your cousin who's an Eagle fan or something? Cowboys are booty. Yeah, you know what? I like booty myself, East Side Monster. Don't you like booty? I love me some booty. Okay. I'm just saying. Maybe you don't like some booty, but this brother here, he likes booty. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit too graphic up in here. Cox knocked out the Giants quarterback on the goal line shot. I'm a fan, laugh out loud. Thoughts that you had about practice. What did you like seeing today? Anthony Brown, got an interception of Dak. I'm surprised the internet didn't break. Dak Prescott throwing interceptions in practice. Surprised that didn't happen.
I like the competitive period. Honestly, your better teams are when your defense and offense are going back and forth. I thought today defense probably, if I had to, go by what I saw for team period, I thought defense probably won today. But you need them. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
defense is usually, defense is less complex than say the offense.
Yeah, offense takes a lot more timing, and offense probably will come back and be a little bit better. I thought that Dak and the receivers obviously, were a little bit out of sync. James Washington missed him on that deep pass. There were a couple passes that were missed, and then he had the interception. But I mean that is what it is. It's kind of a new receiving core. You know what I'm saying?
Completely new receiving core.
But him and CD and him and Jalen Tolbert, they look like they're on the same page, and that's what's important.
I'm telling you, I think that I think Tolbert's going to get the start position. He ain't going to let that mother humper go.
Good. That's what we drafted him for. That's what we brought him here for, right? Because then they would make us eat our words about letting Cedric Wilson go and letting Amari Cooper go the way that they let Amari Cooper go. They make us eat our words. And I remember last year, I don't know if you remember, Jerry said that this was a team that was going to be really good. And we looked at him like, we have so many holes. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, nobody thought our defense was going to do what they did. I mean, they still. Let's be clear. They weren't perfect, but from where they were the year before, where we literally had our safeties like lead blockers for the competition, where our safeties literally saying, nobody gives 100%. Jalen Smith talking about how complex the defense was, and seeing Dontari Poe almost pulling Albert Hainsworth, laying his big fat ass on the field and stuff. I mean, you went from that to what we had last year. It was like, oh. And see, here's the things that are amazing about our defense when you think about this. The player that we thought was our best player on defense going into last season, you had to say DeMarcus Lawrence, right? Yeah. Marcus Lawrence, what he missed? 7 games, 8 games? And the team didn't skip a beat.
Facts.
Didn't
at all. And you want to know something else crazy?
What's that?
At this time last year, they didn't even know if they I think at some point during camp they were like, we're going to give J-Ron Curse the green dot. I don't even know if we were at this point last year. Now we going in and we know exactly what we're doing with J-Ron Curse.
Right.
We know exactly what we're doing with Malik.
Oh, the subtleties.
There aren't any questions when it comes to that. There's no questions with the secondary. As a matter of fact, the only question is Kelvin Joseph going to outplay Anthony Brown to finally unseat him for that position? Anthony Brown had something to say about that today with the pick 6 and the point of Dak.
Right.
So, I mean, Yeah, I mean, there's a lot less questions when it comes to the defensive side and it's on the offensive side, but we know the offense is going to figure it out. We
Okay.
know that.
Well, here's I want to bring this up here too, because we always hear like we were talking about Bart Scott talking about everything has to be perfect and stuff for Dak, and he's always got the best of receivers and things. But when I look at like say 2016, let's go through the receiving core that he had. He had Bryce Butler. Bryce, after he left the Cowboys, was never heard from again, was he?
No.
Terrence Williams, right?
Never heard
Serviceable.
from him.
He had Dez, who got 796 yards. He had Jason Witten, and he had Cole Beasley. That's not like you got Tariq Hill and what's his name? Their tight
We
ends.
was running that rock though, baby. We was running that
We were
rock.
running
We
the
was
rock.
running that
Okay.
wheel.
All right. So let's go to 2017. Now, the key was we were running the rock because the offensive line was killing people. Receiving core. Tight ends, you had Golf Swam and James Hanna. You had Noah Brown, Bryce Butler, Cole Beasley, and Jason Witten. Old Jason Witten. How many? And Des Bryant.
And Zeke missed 6 games.
Right. How great at receiving? Because we're talking about Des Bryant. That was his last season of playing for the Cowboys. The only other game he ever played for, I think, was with Baltimore. He played one game. So that was the tail end of his career. I got to look at Cole Beasley's numbers. And then the next season, receivers, we got Michael Gallup as a rookie who came on the second half of the season. We still had Cole Beasley who had 672 yards. We got Amari Cooper in the middle of the season, but then we had Alan Hearns, Dante Thompson. We had a Dalton Schultz, a Rico Gathers, a Noah Brown.
Mm.
Not exactly. I mean, you had Amari, but you only had him for half the season. When you look at this, you had a Des Bryant in the time that we've had him here, that we've had Dak. We've had Des Bryant the last 2 years of his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've had Amari
Yeah.
Cooper for 3 years, right?
Uh-huh.
And CeeDee Lamb. There's nobody else on there that you look at and say is a great receiver.
True.
I mean, the next best one you almost have to look at and say, I mean, CeeDee Lamb, but he's only been there for 2 years. And Cole Beasley. Everybody else is like, they left the Cowboys, their career was over with. They didn't do jack anywhere.
But Mark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you with the foot. But Mark,
Yeah.
Saying to have everything perfect is probably the biggest crock of bullshit that anybody can say. You want to know why? What was our defenses ranked at the time, Bart Scott? You're a defensive guy, bro. You're a defensive guy. You're going to sit here and say that bullshit. Everything has to be perfect for Dak Prescott. What perfect defense did we have?
Well, apparently it needs to be perfect for Aaron Rodgers too, don't it?
You gonna say, bro, we had historically bad defenses with Dak Prescott being the quarterback, with Tony Romo being the quarterback. Bro, what are you looking at?
Roland's review, what's
nothing,
up?
Obviously. You're listening to narratives and you carrying out false narratives. And man, look, I know I didn't play in the NFL, but come on, bro. Like, I can personally sit here and say that you half-assed that argument.
Mm-hmm.
Half-assed that argument, Bart Scott.
Yeah. That was some bullshit there, okay?
Yeah, definitely. So we don't even got to talk about the receiving core, Mark. You don't even have to go through it anymore. What was our defense like?
Not good.
All right, then.
Not good.
How many defensive coordinators did we run through with Dak Prescott at quarterback?
A lot.
All right, then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
I had to get that off my chest.
What for? As we go down through here, we're going to run this through for an hour. I don't want to take up all of the YouTube and stuff, and I got to figure out why this other camera's not working too. What made you happy today watching practice?
Well, I'll tell you this. Nathan Henry asked a question, so this kind of goes into it, but it was like any news on how the offensive line is looking.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I liked that the offensive line, they look like they have a chip on their shoulder this year.
Mm-hmm.
Connor McGovern started over Tyler Smith in 11 on 11s today, and in team drills and stuff like that. So I mean, that is team drills, but yeah, they're gonna create that competition there. They're gonna make him earn that, and I do like that. I like
Mm-hmm.
that aspect of it. I like Dak's rapport with the receivers that we named. CD ran some really good routes. CD actually lined up in the slot a couple of times. CD was
Mm-hmm.
moving around, so he wasn't just as an X. I liked seeing that. And I
That's
just
one of
like,
those things that I wish that, when you think back to Des Bryant's career, they wasted
yeah,
Des Bryant. Des Bryant, you know, f- to his credit, was just a physical beast that could just outplay people. And they never really developed the skills. You look at somebody that makes it, you don't always have that strength and that skill and everything else. That's where the precise routes, and that's where moving a guy around, like Larry Fitzgerald, later in he played a long time, but they put him in the slot. They changed him around. And you wish that they'd moved Des Bryant around on the field to look for these different matchups, but they never did. And so
mm,
seeing CD in the slot, seeing him outside, hey, you got to figure out, keep your head on a swivel. Where is CD Lamb going to be? I love that. That's some deception there. Deception, so to
mm.
speak.
What about Anthony Brown too, getting that pick six today,
Yeah,
and letting it be known, like, bro, I'm
I ain't
not
just
going
rolling over
nowhere.
and dying.
Yeah, if you gonna take my spot, you're gonna take my spot. I love it. I love the competition that they created, but it's
Hmm.
not a competition where there's an ego involved.
Right.
Everybody just wants to be better, and
Yeah.
it's a common goal. So I do like what I saw day one, and most of all, and this will be my last point, we had no injuries.
That was going to be my thing. Because for every day, if we have no injuries, everything else is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Now,
So
an interesting piece here was Mike McCarthy was asked, how much time is Micah Parsons going to spend in the linebacker room versus the edge rushing room? And he said, that's our secret. We're not going to divulge that. I love the idea of trying to make him the wild card. If Sam Williams, because I think this could be the linchpin for the defense, if Sam Williams, with that speed, can get around on the edge, if he can bend the edge, and D-Law can stay healthy, the things that you'd be able to do with Micah Parsons will be crazy.
yeah, I agree. I automatically, I just imagine that. I just think that we're going to be so much better against the run, like you talked about as well,
Hmm.
because the defensive line is going to be better. Um,
Right.
yeah,
As
man,
long as, as long as we don't get
there's
those
not going to be too
injuries.
many places you can go with the football against this defense.
Hopefully, hopefully that they can basically take a step up from where they were last year. But definitely the run stopping was Achilles' heel. And I think that was just, if we had Neville Gallimore, I think the whole season it would have helped out tremendously. Brent Irvin actually played really, really good. But after he went out, it seemed like that's where we were just kind of reaching. Osa, I love his speed, I love his hands, but he's still a little bit light for what you really want to be that run stuffer. That's where you almost hope that a Tristan Hill will show up. But I knew Mike was going to be like, "What?" He gave me the stank face on Tristan Hill. But
But you know what? I hope that Tristan Hill has a good camp, because I hope that he becomes trade bait or something like that.
because
Where
the thing is, his size and the speed that he has, that he's like about 310, and he's got a motor. He's the kind of guy that you really want to do well that can get upfield. Because if you could get him and Neville Gallimore, those 300 guys, and then put John Ridgeway or Quentin Bohannon, that's a big, heavy run stopping defense. And then you have D Law or Micah Parsons on one side and Sam Williams on the other. That's like,
yeah,
you're not running
look,
against that.
yeah,
Your
great
defensive ends are
defense.
getting upfield and you're not collapsing the middle.
Yeah, as a coach and as somebody that really like pays attention to football, great defenses make the field smaller.
Right.
Great offenses make the field wider. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
I think
I always give you
definitely
credit because you were the one that said when you control the middle of the field, you control the field.
you
And
do
no
because
truer words have been spoken.
if you look at the outside hashes, those are the smallest parts of the field.
Hmm.
Lots of error out there. You can use the sideline as a defender. You know, so I mean, it's just the truth.
Yeah, amen on that one. Well, tomorrow is another day. They'll be in, helmets and shorts. They won't actually be in pads until Monday, and they're probably in meetings right now. It's only about 6:46 in Oxnard right now, so guess they will be studying, probably playing some spades and some or other, and just having a good
Yes,
time.
you know, Michael Parsons is a big chess player, so maybe he found another partner outside of because
Mhm.
Amari Cooper's gone now. So hopefully, you know, he found a worthy chess opponent.
Right. Eric Williams says, in all seriousness, trolls, why you're here? I'm a Seahawk fan, and I'm here for the fun of being with family. Shout out to Eric Willis. And hey, what's
Yeah,
going on with your
Eric is the
man
guy,
DK?
man. Eric is okay in my book.
Yeah. What's going on with DK? I see he's not practicing until he gets a contract. Well, he's got that contractitis. Okay. You can't practice because my arm's sore. I got contractitis. I can't. I'm here, but I can't practice.
Oh my god! I'm gonna repeat the question, but that's pretty damn funny.
Corey Honeycutt. Corey, that's oh wait a minute. I have to go back. Corey Honeycutt. Did Kellen? Oh come on, damn Corey, that's just raw. Damn, damn. The people we
What a
got.
pun, by the way. That was excellent, excellent. That was an excellent pun.
Damn. Anyway, I'm ecstatic about the season finally being here. Um,
Yeah.
One final question for you.
Okay.
Julio Jones with Tom Brady. My thing is he's a name player now. And by name player, I mean you remember the name and what he used to be. But 441 yards last year, 771 in Atlanta, 4 TDs.
Don't buy the hype. I mean, like, don't buy the hype that he's not who he was. Ryan Tannehill was his quarterback. You have Tom Brady throwing him the football. I think Julio Jones is gonna ball out. That's just me. I didn't think he lost a step. I didn't think he lost any ability.
Okay.
Maybe he was a little hurt. I'm telling you, Julio can still play, bro.
Okay. All right. We'll find out. All right.
Ryan
We'll find
Tannehill was their quarterback.
Okay. But he can't stay healthy.
That that. But I don't know, man. Randy Moss looked like Julio. Then all of a sudden you get with Tom Brady and it's like, damn.
Okay. All right. So you're saying be scared.
Yeah. Because he's gonna buy in. He's gonna buy into Tom Brady. Even if his numbers aren't what they were at his best, he's still gonna be more than serviceable with Tom Brady.
Okay. And then we
Yep.
got Joe Burrow having appendix removed. So he'll miss a few weeks. Could it slow him down some to start the season?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, Godspeed. I hope that he gets healthy. But that was a game that I was not looking forward to like that. You know, that early. But I mean, at the end of the day, we got to figure out what we are anyway. So,
all right. So tell everybody where to find you. And we still have to do that chip challenge, man.
yeah, definitely.
We've been talking about that chip challenge for over a year now.
Yeah, definitely. We got to do the chip challenge for sure. I mean,
All
it
right.
just so happens that I did the hot wing challenge. We just didn't do the chip challenge that day.
True on that one. But we can just, I love doing the hot wing challenge shit. I'm going to look for some new hot sauces to go with there. So we can definitely do that again. Find you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. You guys can find me at DMV Fanatic and also DMV Fanatic 1 on Twitter. And yeah, that's it.
You play to win the game.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Salute.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any wins. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire.